This is a very short video. All I'm doing today is jarring some new tobacco that I received and also refilling some old favorites. This is Gaslight. I like to do this label on the jar, as you can see. Keeps the tobacco fresh while also providing kind of an aesthetic way. I mean, some people do like, a piece of tape and the name of the tobacco and the date and that stuff like that. I almost never do the date, but I always put the original label on there. I will usually just cut it off with a knife and then wrap it around. These American style tins go on a lot easier compared to, I guess you would call this like the European style. You have to use a hair dryer or some kind of heat source to gently peel this off. And even when you do that, if you do it too quick, it can still mess it up. So maybe I'll cut here, and now that I'm thinking about it, I might just show how I actually do this. All right, see you in a minute. So here's some more footage of me taking the tobacco out of the tin. I just put it on this piece of paper for ease of maneuverability. So I'll just kind of stack it, make it even like this, and then pour. And this is something I'm showing to you guys because I wish I had known it as a new pipe smoker. I ruined a couple of tins by letting them sit out for too long, and the tobacco became just too dry. I left a tin in my car, and it was just not dust, but it was almost not smokable. So as you can see, I've got GLPs, more GLPs. I'm about to do this is a tin of Gaslight. That smells just heavenly as Gaslight does. This is really good stuff. If you haven't gotten yourself a tin of this GLP's Gaslight, really nice. This is the first tobacco I really tried that resembles a plug. And some people say it's not really technically a plug because it's kind of a loose plug, or I guess cake is maybe what you would call it. Cake. These aren't quite as neat as some of the other ones I had. This one's kind of a diagonal, weird shape. Still good stuff nonetheless. Dump out all the little bits. Set this aside, I just can't stop sniffing it. It really does smell quite good. Pour all that in there. I have not been smoking a pipe long enough to really tell you guys about the age benefits, cellaring your tobacco and so forth. I'm sure that, and this one I don't have to cut the label off because this one, I already have one on this one, and this one doesn't have the weird health warning. I know that cellaring the tobacco has benefits, but I think that each batch is going to be a little bit different on its own. So I don't really, it's so hard, it's got to be hard to tell what the benefit of aging is, because it's probably going to vary from year to year, I would imagine. Wow. This is Samuel Gowith Skiff mixture. I imagine this tin is kind of old. It's new to me, but I bet it was sitting on the shelf for a little while because it's been quite hard to find these Samuel Gowith mixes. And this particular tin is packed in there pretty tight. So I'm just going to take this whole paper out. What I'll do too is just, you can't even see that. It comes out in this kind of tin shape. I will just fluff it up. Take a pinch and add it in the jar. Break this up. I intentionally didn't film the start of this process. I think it's a really relaxing, kind of therapeutic, handling all this delicious smelling tobacco, and you know that it's going to be fresh and ready to have a really nice smoke when the time comes. And this one, where's the lid for this last mason jar? Oh, here we go. I intentionally did this one last because it's going to take some annoying patience with the hair dryer to get this off, but I think what I'm going to do is try and cut the bottom portion of this health label off of here. And I'll be back with you in a minute when I've warmed up this and I'm ready to peel it off. Okay, what we have here is the hair dryer tin. Just gonna set that down. This is already getting quite warm. I did it a bit before I started filming, but I'm just going to take fingernail and really gently, I'm going to kind of practice with this part on the warning label because I don't want that on there. So as you can see, I cut that off and I'm just going to gently peel. So this tells me I heated up the metal enough to loosen that adhesive, and just peel. So I'm going to do one more round with the hair dryer and then do the real label. Tin is really kind of hot to the touch. You really just want to be steady and slow with this process because I learned my lesson. The first time I tried to do this, I was really hasty with it, and this part just ripped. The whole part of the label was ruined. That was with Squadron Leader. Very similar blend to this skiff mixture. you just gingerly, patience, and then you have this really nice sticker. There once was a website that sold prints of tobacco labels, but I almost wonder if they were shut down for, who knows, copyright infringement or... Really doesn't have to be perfect. You can just kind of stick that on there like that. And then what I might even do is just take some clear tape, stick down each side. Now, does it look perfect? No. Does it remind me of the actual tin? Yes, which was kind of the objective here. And I'm kind of doing this preemptively. I've only smoked this one a handful of times, but I do find that I like these Balkan blends enough that I think I can dedicate some jar space to it. Skiff mixture, absolutely. Gaslight for sure. This might be like my favorite tobacco of all time. This stuff is great. And then these two are kind of experiments, but I think they will be really nice as well. GOP's Ashbury and Embarcadero. So I think that is all. I just wanted to show you guys the process of jarring and labeling the tobacco. I actually have one more I need to do. This is just a sample of Bullseye Luxury Flake, or can't remember what it is. Bullseye Flake. Can't remember what this is. I'll have to look at the order again. But this is my first tobacco that's rings. What the heck do you call these things? Bullseyes. Virginia Perique. This is good stuff too. This might be one of my favorite Virginia Periques that I've tried. So I'm gonna stick that in a jar, but it won't have a fancy label. Anyway, I'm done rambling. Hope you guys have a good weekend, and that's all.